Hey everybody, it's Robin with Uniquelyrobins. I'm just working on a project today. We are going to make something that I'm not sure is going to turn out. I just had an idea this morning and I thought, well, we'd give it a try. We'll see what happens. But this week we are going to work with some of Banya Mishra's digital kits, and I just think they are so gorgeous. I wanted to show you them. I would try to hold them up a little closer. These ones here are printed out on cardstock, and the colors are just so beautiful in them. I'll just show you the pages first. I love this one with the red birds. Or the red and blue birds. It's just gorgeous. So we are going to work this week with the papers from this kit and make a few different projects. And then here are some of the cutouts that come with it. You have these two little tags here. We have these tags. I've already cut these out so that I'll let you see them a little at a time here so you can get a good look at them. I just think they are so beautiful. She has several kits that I really like. I'm gonna have to go up there and buy some more. The ones that she just came out with. Really? So there's those. I love this one with the old-fashioned teapot in it. That's, I think, one of my favorite tags. And I do know that I have not got the list up there of the things that I use yet. I do apologize for that. I will get those up there. Some of these are, well, they're not the same because they're different colors. So she gives you a lighter and then a darker one. But now that the contest is over and the drawings are all done and I think I've gotten everyone notified, all I have to do is send the stuff out. The stuff that I have, I will get that sent out. I will work on that this week, trying to get that list up there for you. I know, I apologize again, I didn't get it done this weekend. I was just swamped with stuff to do this weekend, so I did not get it done. And then these are your journaling cards. Oh, my fingers are just not wanting to get hold of stuff today. And I did print out a couple extras of these because I think what happened was I think I printed these first and I was running out of ink, so I reprinted them. So there is a big difference, but I will still use these. I like the faded look, so I still use them. But you can see the difference there in what is the kit comes like, and then I was just getting low on ink, so. But I will still use them because I like that look too. And then here are some of the other ones. These are just on regular printer paper, so you can see the difference in the brilliance of the colors and things are much more brilliant when you use photo paper or cardstock paper. I believe that is matte photo paper, not cardstock. I believe it's matte photo paper. Just so you can get a look of all the different pages that you get in the kit. I mean, you get a lot in the kit, and it's very reasonably priced. So you can go up and check her Etsy store out, which is listed below. Lots of beautiful things up there. I have a hard time going up there because every time I do, I have to buy stuff. I try to go up there and favorite people's stores to help them out, and I get to looking around. You know, I can't just go favorite. I have to go look around, and I get to looking around, and I have to buy things. Shh, don't tell my husband. No, he doesn't care. He's a good guy. Anytime I ask him about something, it's always, whatever you want, baby. Okay, so we are going to work with this kit in this week. I'm not sure how long it's going to take to finish this first project. Just kind of got this idea, and you know me, I just wing it, and we're going to go with it and see what happens. It may turn out maybe a total flop, you never know. But at least if it's a total flop, it'll give you a lesson in what not to do. Okay, so I have glued these two black pages together. I'm trying to get this stuff out of the way so that I don't get it all messy. Okay, I have glued two pieces of 12 by 12 black cardstock together. I'm going to put this other piece on there too. I was just trying to measure out to see how many I was going to need. And like I said, this is 12 by 12 cardstock. And I'm just gluing just the edges together to make it longer. It's like when you're making a journal, you have to put more than one piece together because of the length of it. Wipe that glue up. Okay. Okay. Now this is going to be, or I put that on wrong, didn't I? I guess it doesn't really matter. It's just one side is a little bit different colored than the other side. I don't know why that is, but it is. But it's going to be covered mostly anyway, so I'm not going to worry about it. Now I have cut these out ahead of time, so you didn't have to sit and watch me figure out how much I was going to cut. Hopefully I cut them right. We'll see. And this is just shy of an 8.5 by 5.5. I have two pieces of that, 8.5 by 5.5. And then I have three pieces that measure 2.5 by 5.5. 2.5 by 5.5. Hey, I got them right on the half marks, pretty close anyway. And you know me, I don't measure with the measuring tape. I just eyeball it and go for it. Take a chance, be wild. Okay, so what we're going to do to put this together is we're going to have, say, a piece there, and I want these to be close together, even this way, lined up, I guess is what I should say, like little soldiers. Let me pull this down some. I could just move this stuff over, out from away. Okay. So we have those two at the top, and then we're going to put this one here, and then this one, and then this one. Go the right way would be nice. Okay. I'm just going to use my ruler to kind of use it for a straight edge more than anything. Make sure it's straight across there. I'm just going to cut off some of this excess on the opposite end that I know we're not going to need, just to make it a little more manageable. I know that's not straight or anything. I'll straighten it up here after bed. Okay. So I'm going to glue these down. I'm going to start at the top here. And I know this is probably not making any sense to you whatsoever, but trust me, it will. It will, it will. I cut the other end off, so I'm moving this up a little bit so I don't have to cut it off at both ends. Get my bone folder and keep that down there nice and sturdy. Okay, when we go to put our next piece on, I want a little space between them, but not like a humongous amount of space. I'm just going to take my bone folder. I want to make sure they're even. About the thickness of my bone folder through there. That's about all I want. Oops. Went right underneath there and picked that right up. Don't want to do that. And don't worry about the little messies around the edges. It's not a big deal. For one, it dries clear, and for two, it's gonna be that's all gonna be covered up with purdies anyway. I did fill my glue bottles like I told you I would. And this space in between there, I mean, it's just a guesstimate. It doesn't have to be perfect. Only thing is you just want to make sure you got it as lined up on the sides as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it as close as possible. Okay. Now do the next one. I know you guys say you don't like it when I keep you in suspense on stuff, but suspense is good for the soul. Got to keep you coming back somehow. Okay. Yeah, that's about right. Looks pretty good. I think the contest turned out very well. I appreciate so much those of you who didn't win a prize being so nice and cordial to the ones who did. That was awesome to see. Wish I could have gave everybody a prize. But we'll try to do it again when we get 1,000 people on our YouTube channel. We'll do it again, but this time more of the prizes will go to the YouTube people instead of the Facebook group, kind of opposite of what we did this time. Even though most of you are in my group that are on here, and most of my group is on here, but only seems fair, right? For those few that may not be on both. Ooh, a lot more came out that time than I thought did. Okay. Alright, I'm going to get my little cutter up here. So I want to cut this down. Make sure it's straight this time. Well, maybe I didn't get it straight. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Like I said, it's going to be covered up anyway. Okay, so I think the edges were good, the top and the bottom, I mean, not the edges. And I am going to cut some off of the sides. It's a big long piece here. So we don't have so much bulk on the inside. If I hadn't ended up flew by the seat of my pants, I probably could have moved that all over and only had to cut off one side, and I could have still used that piece, but I still may be able to use that piece for something. It's a good size. And let's cut some off this side so we don't have so much bulk. Oh, it's long. And I know this is not straight in any way, shape, or form, but that's not going to matter, because like I said, it's just going to be the underside. We're going to cover that all up anyway. For the most part, anyway. Now I'm going to cut the corners off of all 4 sides. That will also cut down on some bulk. Okay. And now we're going to fold it by pushing it up on there. And get you a nice good fold that way. Get it right up against your cardstock and then just let it roll and fold down. Folds a little more natural that way. And I am going to take my bone folder where these creases are. That wasn't a crease, that was the join of the paper. I just want to go through those creases to get that glue to stick a little bit in those creases. And right there's the last one. Okay. All right, now we're going to glue that side down. And I'm going to put quite a good amount of glue where the paper meets the cardstock. That will help it not to crack so much. Okay. And work from the middle out. Reinforcing that little crease there. Need a little bit under there, it's coming up. Okay. Reinforcing those little creases. Okay. I know half of this is probably off of the screen for you, but we'll get it to a workable stage here shortly. Again, quite a bit of glue there where the cardstock meets the chipboard. And if you're more comfortable doing this a little section at a time, I mean, you can do that. I just kind of like to get it all on there at the same time, so I'm always afraid I'm gonna miss a spot of glue. Whoops, stand up there, glue. Left this side a little bit longer, but that's all right. Again, working from the middle out. Paying close attention to our little creasy areas. Why I love this bone folder so much, because it is just the perfect size to fit in those little creases. Okay. Now let's start with this end. And this is some really thick cardstock. I'm gonna look at it so you'll know. It's well, I guess it doesn't really tell you, does it? Let's see if it tells us on the back. Nope, it does not tell me how thick it is. But it is pretty thick cardstock. Some up in there that didn't catch real well. Okay. Again, good amount of glue there on the edge. No, you probably think I'm on a broken record. I think I might have put a little too much. Oh, guess not. Yeah. Lots of seepage. I was going to say, I think I put a generous amount of glue on there. Probably don't need quite that much, but at least we know it's not going to go nowhere, right? All right, now let's flip it around and we'll get the other side. This is how I normally do it, but get my crease nice and right in there. But this long of a thing, it's not the easiest thing to do when it's that long. I just used a lot of glue there. Okay. All right. Now, normally, if I was making a journal or something, I would make sure that's down right there, sticking up a little bit. Just go through, make sure your creases are down on both sides. Make sure you don't have anything really big sticking up. Okay. Now, like I said, if this was a journal, I would cover this inside piece too. But since I will be using cardstock to cover it, I'm really not worried about that right at the moment. Because we'll put pretties in here, even though you really won't see it much, but we're still gonna make it pretty, because that's the way I roll. If it's ever laying out flat or something. Let's see. We're going to put some of this down through there. Or are we? Or am I going to put black in there? Oh, I think it's too dark. This is what we're going to do. I like it to be pretty inside and out, so. Oh, I got the crease right in the right spot. That is good. And that is the great thing about buying kits, is they're not all that expensive, and you can print them out over and over and over, which is wonderful. Is that where I want that one? Let's see. Yes. I believe it is. Okay. Oh, just an update on the other shadow box. It's supposed to be here by Friday. They were on back order, so I couldn't get it right away. But once it gets here, we will take the time to put that one together so you can see it done. And it'll be a nice little set. I know this is the inside, and you don't have to put such pretty paper on the inside, but I figure I can print it out again, so why not? Now let's see here. Give me another one. Oh, not that one, because I want that one for the front. We have one. Should have printed two of those. Oh, no, that's this paper. Let's try this one. I thought I had another one with the sunflowers on it, but I didn't have another one out yet. Could have printed one out, but it's kind of noisy, the printer. I think I'm going to put this one at this end. And then I'll put one, maybe this church in the middle. I like that church. Yeah, that'll work. Hot in here earlier, and I turned on that fan. I'm hoping that this noise is not bothering you guys. I didn't even think about that when I started the camera. For some reason my camera, or my fan is off center, and it's making an awful racket, which I don't know if you can hear or not, but it drives me crazy. I'm going to go again where my creases are. I should have done this one earlier, but that's all right. It still works. And just kind of bend it a little bit, flex it a little bit. I have another one right there. Bend it a little bit and flex it. Especially since it's cardstock on cardstock, because where's the other one? Where's my other one? Down here. Down here. Is that it? Oh, no. Down here. Down there. I didn't think that should have been that close. Okay. Now we're going to put our other sunflower one down here. So far, I think this is going to turn out the way I was picturing it in my head. Hopefully. I'd hate to waste your time, but sometimes we need to know when things don't work out too, so that it saves us time from having to do it. I've never been a sunflower person, but I just love this paper. Okay, where's my crease at? Oh, I didn't have one there, I don't think. No, okay. Okay. Got all of our creases. I like to do them from both sides, that way that paper sticks together well. Okay, now we'll pick our pages for this side. I might use that again, I'm not sure. I know I want beautiful birds on here. Just deciding if I want this one or this one. Actually, I know I want this one. And I probably will use one from this one too. Line that up there. And I think I want this one here from this page. Sorry, birdie. Didn't need to cut your little belly off. Well, kind of meant to, but... Do I want that way, or do I want this in the middle? Let me think a minute how I want to do this. Actually, I think I want that to go there. So I have an idea. Not sure it's going to work out, but I have an idea. Okay. So that's all right. Wait a minute. Let me think a minute. Let's see if I can figure this out here real quick. Yeah, because I want this bird on here. Do I want the bird or the house? I think the bird. But I actually want it to go like that. So when it's closed, you actually see it like that. So let's mark this here. Get that dark enough I can see it. And it's above the little birdie, so we're not going to cut his head. All right. So we're going to put this part on here. There is a method to my madness sometimes. All right. I want to clip this together for a minute. Because I want this to match up to that. So when it's closed, it's like the whole thing. I've got a crease right there. Okay. All right. So when it's closed, we have the whole picture, see? That was what I was going for. I got a little piece right there that wants to come up. And I don't want it to come up. Okay, so got a little bit under there, trying not to go down. Where's my... Okay. All right, now, let's see. This is the front, so this is the bottom, this is the back. So we want this to go here. That's the back. Actually, that's the top. That can fold around. That will be all right. Okay. Trying to make sure that I don't have this upside down because it looks like it is because of the front part, but it's not. It's going to go right side. Because I don't want it to be upside down. I know a lot of people would say it's the back, so it don't really matter, but it does to me. Something like that would drive me batty. Okay, so we want to start here. Finding my crease. Always make sure you find your crease and get that down in there so it doesn't crack when you go to bend it on your crease. That one's not covered, so that'll be all right. Okay. And we'll take our other little birdie. Now I don't want to cut his little head off, so cut him, period. So I'm going to cut there first. Oops. Something didn't catch on the end. Okay. All right, so this will go here. I think I'm going to leave a little bit between there. So, this is going to go up the back and be the bottom. I do believe. Okay. So, center him in there good. And of course, you know, we're going to put some kind of rickrack or lace or ribbon or something around the edges of everything when we're done. Because that's the way we roll. Okay, now I know this looks funny because this all looks like it's going one way and then that goes a different way. But that is for a reason, because our thing we're making will go like this. So then you have your front and your bottom and your back. So everything's going the way that it should be going. Okay? Now, actually, if I'd had some thinner cardstock, I would have used that instead of this black, because this black is very heavy, and that's why I still have it, because I don't normally use it because it does crack on the corners. But like I said, we're going to cover that all up, so you're not going to see it, but it just makes me a little crazy that I know it's there. Okay, so that is our outside. Now, our inside, let's see where we're at on time. Okay, well, we'll start on the inside, and then we'll work on it some more tomorrow. But these are our inside pieces, and I didn't do this one so I could show you on here. I did these right before we started because I didn't want to have you here for days on end. And I will tell you how I did these. I scored these at 1/4 inch straight down, at 5 1/4 straight down, and this paper is some cardstock, but it is only well, it's a 10, I think it's an 8 by 10, yeah, 8 by 10, so it's only an 8 by 10 sheet, so it's not like the normal size paper. So if you're going to make these, you want to start with an 8 by 10 sheet, and then go 1/4 inch and score, 5 1/4 and score, and then you're going to flip your paper, and you're going to go to 7 1/4 and score. Okay, so it's going to kind of look like a checkerboard, like when you get done. And then what you're going to do is from this score line right here, I'm going to go at an angle and go up to where the two score lines meet. And I just chop that little piece out. Go right up the score line and then at an angle. Take a little triangle out there. And the same thing on this side, I'm going to just cut straight up to that score line. Okay? Now this part, we're going to cut off from that score line just to where we made our cut. So this part, we'll cut that off. We don't need that. Okay, and then on this score line here, we're going to fold it up on that little 1/4 inch score line, and that's where we're going to glue right up that. Oops, got glue on my scoreboard. That's not ever good. Get that out of the way because we're done with that. And then we're going to fold in that middle score line, tuck that in, and glue it down. I have to sweep today. Little piecey parts everywhere. Score that down. Okay. And then on this score line at the bottom, we're going to fold that up. And we're making us a little envelope type thingy. You know, like, oh, actually, I think there's some in this kit. Yeah, like these. That's kind of like what we're making. Only we're not folding the top part. We're just folding this bottom part on there. But yeah, they're kind of like the seed packet envelopes. So, you know, you can make your own seed packet envelopes. You don't have to buy those. Okay. And then I took and lined them up together approximately. They're not going to be in a, I don't know if I can get hold of it, in the actually exact position, but tried to get my little thingies cut out about the same on everyone. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but I think we may only use 6 of them. So you have these, and I did make these out of cardstock. You can make these out of paper, you can make them out of book pages, you can make them out of dictionary pages, whatever you want to make them out of. They don't have to be cardstock. I just wanted this to be really, really sturdy because I plan on using for it to be used to store ephemera or something that might be used a lot, so I wanted it to be sturdy. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is flip that over, and I'm going to go right down the middle where the, come back here, right under where we cut that little thingy at. And this is not an exact science or anything, but where's my, you know, about an inch, inch and a quarter of glue down through there. And make sure that you have your pull tab thingies on the same side, all facing up, I should say. And we're going to glue that together. And then we're going to do the same thing to all of these. I'm going to start with 6 and we'll see how it looks, and we may use that 7th one, we may not. But always make sure your thumb holes are facing up. I'm going to try to make sure they're even together. Burnish that down good where the glue is in there. This is why I said it doesn't really matter. You could just use plain paper on the inside of this. But, because these are actually going to be glued to that, but, you know, if any little part of it's going to show, I'd like it to be pretty, so that's why I use paper. Now, if I couldn't reprint any more of those pages out, I probably would not have done that, but since I can, I will. And make sure you don't want to glue the whole thing together, just down through the middle. Stand it up. Make sure, keep checking to make sure they're as even as possible. Trying to make sure that since I'm talking and not paying real close attention that I'm putting them on the right direction. And you can do these in color if you wanted to, or you know, however you want to do it. But it's really not going to be seen a whole lot. Okay. That last one on. Okay. I have stuff all over my fingers. Alright. So this is what you have when you get done. It's like a little accordion-like folder. And that is what is going to go in our little container here. Actually, I don't know, let me see. Okay. That, tack that back there. And tack this up here. So when you open it, that's what you have. I'm debating if I want to put a couple more in there or if that is enough. Oh, gotta hold the wrong one though. I think that's enough actually. So that's what we'll do. Now we're going to glue it into the back. So we're going to run our same line just down the middle. You could, if you wanted, I guess, glue the whole back, but I'm going to hold this up here because I want to make sure it's centered good. It doesn't have to touch the bottom, but I want to make sure it's centered well. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to put my bone folder in that back one and kind of push it down that way. I'm debating on if I want to glue that all the way down or just there. No, I think just there's good. That should hold good once it dries well. Okay. So then we're going to do that same thing to this front. You can keep little things you want to file in here. You can make this a regular size of file folder and do the same thing, make it bigger. There's just so many possibilities. Okay, now this one, it's going to be a little trickier. I'm hoping I can get my hand in there. Hold on a minute. Take those off. Try to get my hand in here so that I get it in the middle, you know what I mean? And I am going to clamp this on both sides till it dries well, because that's a lot of pressure on that paper. Well, I only have my big clamps, but they'll work. Give that time to dry well before you go pulling on it too much, or you might lose it. Okay, and I'm trying to decide. I know I'm going to put a piece up here because I don't like it black like that. So we will put a piece up there. I'm trying to figure out how I want to put closure on this. And I'm thinking that we may use a button. Well, we won't do that today, but I'll think on it. And sorry about the noise. I was trying to get these clamps off because I want to hold that closed too. I thought I had another clamp. Ah, there it is. Need to give me some small clamps, but these are what I got, so these are what we used. All right, I'm just gonna leave that on there for a while and let it dry really well, and then tomorrow we will finish it up. We'll put another piece underneath there. I'll figure out what kind of closure we want to put on it, and then we'll decorate it, which is the funnest part, right? But actually, it turned out pretty good for not knowing what I was going to do or what I was doing. Kind of fly by the seat of my pants, but that's how I roll. All right, so I will see you tomorrow, and we'll go from there. Check out Banya's store. Check out her beautiful paper she has up there. You'll love them. I know you will. Check out the other girls below. Make sure you watch the UCC video and support those people as well. We try to bring you good quality channels. So I appreciate you being with me today and seeing if this worked. So far, I think we're doing pretty good. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. Have a good day.